Hey there everyone, this is Josh from Fresh Start Customs, and I'm coming to you today with a brand new Glowforge, and I'm going to show you how to set this thing up. And I kind of skipped the unboxing of the Glowforge, because I figured you guys could handle the unboxing there, and I had two people yesterday, and I'm by myself today, so I didn't want to attempt to lift it by myself and potentially harm it. So we're going to go through the actual setup today, and hopefully this helps a lot of you guys out. Like I always say, this is mainly a hobby for me. I do sell stuff on the side, but everything that I do sell goes right back into this hobby. So I'm hoping that this helps you guys out. If you're brand new or you don't have a Glowforge yet, check the link below in the comments. And you'll be able to get up to $500 off of a Glowforge using my referral code, and then that helps me help you guys, just like this video. That's what I'm trying to do here, is help you out. So let's get started here. We're on the setup screen of Glowforge on my laptop. We're going to go through this process here, and as you can see, it shows unboxing your Glowforge. So I already did this step. You can check for damage. You can read over this literature if you want to. And then you open up the box by the little handles. You just pull the one tab until it pops open, and then it slides right out. Hopefully that's enough information for you guys. It's a pretty easy process for the unboxing. And then you just have to cut the little slit on the bottom side of the box to lift it off. So the next spot in their setup guide here is to choose a location. The main thing you're going to want to do is get yourself a level, and then make sure your Glowforge sits completely level, and pretty much just like that. That's going to be your first major thing that you want to get. Make sure that the surface is also a hard top surface. That way the Glowforge doesn't move while it's in use. And then we're going to scroll past this as well. This is just lifting the unit out of the box. Like I said, had two people, me and my wife, yesterday to pick this up out of the box. Now it's just me today, so that's why I set this up yesterday, so I can do the video today, and I didn't want to potentially drop it by myself. And then this is where we're going to start today. We're going to start by removing all these orange little parts, and if you ever see the camera bounce around, I've got my little flimsy stand today. I'm sorry about that, but I'm going to try and attempt to get the best angles possible. I know I'm in a dark corner of this room. I actually got this Glowforge half a month early. They said it was backed up until February, but I ended up getting it half a month early, so that was a surprise. So I didn't have anything set up for it. So I'm just taking over the movie theater room for right now and gonna redo this into like a second office probably. So if there's any low lighting issues or camera being bumped around, it's just because I was in a hurry. But I'm going to try and make it as best of video as possible for you guys to show you how to do this setup here. So we're going to get started. Like it says, you can follow along on the setup guide online if you have one and you're setting it up yourself, or if you're new, you can just follow along with this video and see what it looks like. So we're going to start by removing this tape right here on the front. That way we can open the lid and drop the front door. So now that we did that, we're going to go ahead and lift the lid here, just like that. And then we're going to lower this front door. It's a little tight sometimes, but this one is actually a lot better than what my first one was. So now that we have that lifted, I'm going to go back and read the next step here. We're going to pull out the foam closest to the lower front door, and then we're going to remove the knobs. So this foam right here is what it wants us to remove first. Sometimes you can pull this little handle here and it lifts up like this, and that gives you some room to kind of play with and pull it out like that. Hopefully I'm doing this slow enough and easy enough that you guys can see it. And then, like I said, the next step is going to be, we're going to find your red knobs and then unscrew them and pull them out. It's going to be these little red knobs here. I've got one here, and then I've got one over there. I'm not going to move the camera so it doesn't get bumped around like I said earlier. But you can see everything over here is duplicate over there. So I'm going to go ahead and get this one first, since it's out of your guys' frames. And then I'll get the second one next so you guys can see what I'm doing over here. It's just going to be a repeat. So now that I got this one out, we're going to do this one right over here. Just unscrew it. And then you pull it right out. Now guys, what I want to show you here, you see these little black washers right here? This other one is a better example. It kind of came loose. You see how this one came loose right here? You may find these little black washers laying, like, let's say right there in your Glowforge. That goes to this. So that's nothing important. Don't freak out if you find that. That's the most common thing that I see when somebody gets their first Glowforge. They see those little washers, and then they're like freaking out because they think that it fell off of a part. That's not the case. Fell off of this little screw. No big deal. Put it back on the screw. Save the screws. So we're going to go to the next step here. And that's going to be removing the top layer of the rear foam to reveal your printer head and lens removal tool. So that's going to be this right back here, this foam. You just lift it right up off of there. Comes right off of there, just like that. Just a solid piece of foam. I'm going to attempt to move this camera so you can see it a little bit better. So if it bounces around, I'm sorry. So right here is your laser head, and right down in here you'll see this little blue thing. This is the second thing I want to point out to everybody that's brand new, never owned a Glowforge before. This little blue thing, see how it says install? Let me flip it over there. Install, and then remove. This is to remove the lens on this lens back here that we're going to install here shortly. Just keep this off to the side. Don't lose this ever. Put it somewhere safe. Put it in a safe. Whatever you need to do, just don't lose it. And this does not actually get installed in the machine either, just like those black washers. This is the second thing most people freak out about because they're worried about it. Some people are intimidated by the machine. Keep those off to the side. Save them forever. Another thing that they include lens wipe here. This is just to wipe your lenses on the machine if you have to. I'd recommend buying a bunch of these on Amazon. I think I bought 550 for like 20 bucks. They're not that expensive. They're definitely worth it. You're going to use them often. So save that as well. You'll use that later on. So now that we got the foam revealed and the printer head revealed, we're going to go to the next step here, and that's going to remove the rear foam block with the printer head and the lens tool, and like it says, set those aside just like I said earlier, and then it says that you'll be powered up in mere minutes. It will take a little bit of time still. So we're going to remove this block here. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this out first, just so I don't damage it. And I'm going to set your laser head off to the side. This is your laser head, the thing that goes back and forth when it lasers. So I'm going to set that off to the side for now, just so I don't accidentally damage anything pulling this block out of here. So I'm gonna go ahead and try and pull this block out of here. It's in there a little tight. And that noise that you just heard was me bumping one of the screws over, so I didn't damage anything there. Don't worry about that. So now that we got this removed, I'll move that off to the side here, and we're gonna go to the next step here. So number 6 on the list, we're gonna go ahead and remove the orange tape from the laser arm. And it's saying that we're gonna have to grab this furthest away from us, which is this little tab here. And I'm gonna check that you guys can see that. Yep. So that little tab right here, you're gonna pull this forward really slowly. Don't pull really fast, and you see how it dropped right there? And it's still attached to this little cable here. So you're gonna wanna be really careful with this cable. It is kind of fragile. And you see how it's taped right there. You're gonna pull that tape off really, really slowly so you don't damage anything. And then just tuck that cable back in there for right now. And the one thing that you can throw away, like it says, you don't need to save the tape there. So now we're gonna go to the next step, which is under the glass tube. We're gonna find the orange clip, push it down, and it'll pop off. So that orange clip that they're talking about is this one right here. So we're gonna just grab that under here with your index finger and your thumb right here, pull it down, and then you'll hear it pop, just like that. It popped down, and then it has a little bit of a latch on the back, so you kind of gotta push it back like that, and then it pops right off there, just like that. Holds this in place from moving whenever it's shipping there. So now we're going down to the last part here, which is removing these little red strips. I'm going to show you that here in just a second. Just reading this over really quick. It's been almost a year since I've had to set up my first one, so I'm going back over this kind of slowly so I can show you guys in detail what's going on here. So it looks like what we're going to do is push the laser tube back, and then we're going to lift off these little red silicone tabs, these things right here. And then there's one on that side too. Like I said, it's just out of frame. So everything I do over here is going to be done over there. But what we're going to do is we're going to actually grab right here on the metal and slowly push it back. Really slowly. Until it's all the way off of these red things right there. It just kind of fell down into place. These red things right here are going to peel them off just like that. And then you're going to save those forever, just like those other ones. And I'm going to peel this one off just like this. And then we're done with the orange bits there. So that's the hardest part in my opinion. Then we're going to go move on to the next thing. If you have a Glowforge Pro, you're going to have to remove your shields and then install those. But I don't have a Pro here. I have a basic. So we're going to skip that step. If you need that step, just continue along with the process that they have. So I'm going to skip right through that. Now it wants us to grab our accessory pack. So the accessory pack, I opened one time, but I didn't actually pull any parts out. And I'm not sure how well this is going to show up for you guys, but I'm going to move this slightly over here. And it is on the floor right over here. Hopefully this will stay in place for us so you can see it. There we go. So I'm going to go ahead and open this accessory box here. And that's going to have your crumb tray and your so the crumb tray is this thing right here, this giant black thing, and then it's gonna have your I can't even think of it right now, your vent hose right there. Some people like to replace that vent hose right away because if you expand them really far, some reason there's dots inside of them, like pinholes that smoke can escape from. I always like to set my Glowforge up right next to the window so it's already really tight. So even if it has pinholes, it's not going to release that smoke. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this out. And we're going to pull this crumb tray out of here too. We're going to need that in just a second. Now I will point out to you guys, you see how this little tiny thing right here says starter pack material. I apologize if this is sideways right now, but starter pack material is actually built into the second box. When I first got my first one in beta, they sent that starter pack material in the first box. So you lift this up. Right there's all of your starter pack material and your power cord. Now, if you get your Glowforge in the mail and you don't get this second box right away, you're not going to be able to turn it on without this power cord, and you won't have the crumb tray, obviously. So just wait for that second box before you can get started. Save yourself some time and headaches. So now we're going to go ahead, continue with the next step, and I'm going to see what I can do here with the camera and this crumb tray, because my camera stand is right in front of where the crumb tray is going to slide in. So we're going to see how we're going to do this for you. So now that I got that out, we're going to go ahead and go to the next step, which is, of course, like I just said, slide in your crumb tray. Wants you to lift the door and lower the front door. We already did that. It wants you to move the laser arm all the way back. And then we're going to pick up the crumb tray, make sure the handle's up front, which the front is right down here. And the wide black strip, which is the back of the crumb tray, is going to be in the back. And I'm just scrolling through the section here really quick. And it's basically just showing you a little model of how you do it on the manual here, which is pretty basic. It's pretty basic knowledge. Just wanted to go through and make sure I'm not missing anything important. But I do want to point out, you see these little slits right here? Right here's one. One's way back here, and one's way over there, and one's way over here. Those are going to be where your feet of the crumb tray is going to sit at. So I'm going to go ahead and attempt to put this crumb tray in with the camera still running. If it bumps around, it's because I'm trying to get it to fit in there with it running. Otherwise, I'm going to have to move it. And it's sliding right in there like that. And it looks like we got lucky, so we don't have to actually move the camera around here. So you see how I'm kind of moving it around and making sure it fits right into those four feet that I was talking about. And you'll know it's fitting because it doesn't really wobble around that much once it fits. So now all it wants you to do is close your front door, your little lid right here. You're going to close that. And it'll close into place just like that. And then now we're going back to that printer head that I set off to the side that I was talking about earlier, that I didn't want to damage by moving the actual foam with it being in the foam still. So what it wants you to do here is it wants you to move it all the way to the right and to the back of the unit here. So they're talking this little tray here. You're going to move it all the way to the right here, just like that. Hopefully you guys can see that right there. I'm going to see if I can adjust my light now that we put dark in there. Or that dark tray. I'm going to put this light in there so you can see it a little bit better, hopefully. Let's take a look here. So now that we move that to the right, we're going to go ahead and pick up your print head, and we're not going to touch any of the non-black metal parts, and I'll show you that here. You got to be pretty careful with this because fingerprints can ruin or just dirty up your lenses. I wouldn't say ruined per se. I'm going to try and move this camera a little bit so you can see more in there. There we go. So this is what we're going to do. This is the actual print head that I was talking about here. It's the one that goes back and forth. See that little window right there? Don't touch that. And then there's going to be little cameras and stuff underneath here. Don't touch those as well. And I would try not to touch the actual board right here either. So just the metal part that I'm holding on to, that's the only thing you want to touch. So I'm going to look back over here and make sure I'm not missing anything just to be safe on the manual. And yeah, so all it wants us to do now is, you see this giant orange piece? You're going to go ahead and just slowly pull that out, just like that. And that's good to go. Okay, so the next part that they want is they want to attach the ribbon cable, which is this right here, to this part right here on your printer head. Hopefully you guys can see that really well. I know it's a little dark in here, like I said earlier. But what we're going to do is go ahead and just hold on to just the metal part. I'm going to grab this ribbon, and then don't pull it out very far, just maybe like right there. And with that little piece right here where my thumb is, it's going to click right into place here. I have to just push it into place until it clicks. Just like that. Pretty sure it clicked there. There we go. And what it wants you to do now is it wants you to attach it to this little bar that we slid to the right. I'm going to move it out a little bit because it's easier. And then it just locks into place like that. So what you want to make sure, see how the ribbon loops like this, and the part that we installed is on top. You want to make sure that loop stays like that. That way when it goes over like this, it can go back and forth freely, but maintaining that loop the whole time. So we're going to go back again. You see how it over here, it's maintaining that loop. That's what they want. So we got that all connected there. Let's go down, make sure I didn't miss anything. I kind of skipped over a few steps because I knew what to do there. I do that every once in a while when I clean, so nothing new there. So let's take a look here. Make sure we didn't miss anything. Yep, so number 5 was putting that on top like I did. Number 6 was moving it back and forward to make sure that cable moves freely, just like I pointed out. Let's take a look here. And then it wants you to, yeah, that's it. That's the whole process right there. Just wants you to close the front door and lower the lid, and then save all of your parts, just like I said. So let me grab all these things here. Anything that was orange, except for the tape, all these little parts here. You got your 2 screws, that little clip that holds it into place, the 2 sliding stoppers, and the foam piece for your laser head. Save those forever. Just throw them in that big box, and save that giant box that your Glowforge came in forever. Because if you ever have to do a repair and send it back to Glowforge, they're going to want you to send it back in that box, and that box is worth $250. So find some attic space, use it as a coffee table, whatever is going to look good to you. You're going to want to save that forever. So that was pretty much the entire setup process. And then just for the little orange bit part, so the next part would be set up your exhaust and connect to Wi-Fi. I'll go ahead and try and go through that process with you here. I'm going to move this head all the way back to the left now that I'm done, because that's your home position. It's always going to start there, and make sure it's all the way back, which it already is. So I'm going to lower that lid here. And it locked into place there. Okay. So let's go ahead and get the power cord out here, because I know it wants you to do the exhaust fan first, but I'm going to do that last because I don't really want to open up my window until later on. And I'm not sure if I'm going to do an actual print for you guys here or on the next video. I might just wait until the next video because I'm actually thinking about using this Glowforge for different types of foods. So I can't really do that test print that comes with it. And I was just thinking about using it for the different types of foods just so I can get settings for you guys who actually use this as a regular basis for foods. So we're going to go ahead and go over the setup process here once I get this power cord plugged in and the Glowforge powered on. So let me go ahead and get this set up here as quickly as possible. Might have to move the actual Glowforge to get to it in this situation. There we go. Got that in. Now I just need to plug it into a little extension cord that I got here. And one thing that I do want to point out here to you guys is do not plug the Glowforge into a surge protector. By no means don't plug it into a surge protector. If you have to plug it into something else, plug it into an extension cord, a heavy duty extension cord directly to the wall. Glowforge has its own surge protector protection system built right into the machine. So let me get this plugged in and we'll get going. Alright, so let's go ahead and turn it on for the first time. I don't know if you guys can see, but there's bubbles right here that's turning on. It's making a gurgling sound. It's actually setting up for the first time. Perfectly normal. Nothing to worry about there. So let me see if I can get a better shot there. There we go. So everything looks to be good on this so far. I'm pretty happy with it so far. Won't truly know until I do that test run that I was talking about. So let's go ahead and get this thing set up. Right over here, as you can see, got the teal light there. Teal light means it needs to be set up and connected to Wi-Fi. So to do that, we're going to have to connect to Glowforge's Wi-Fi and then get connected that way. So that's through the setup process as well. So I'm going to go ahead and show you that setup process there. Shows you the website right there above, setup.glowforge.com. So let's go ahead and go set this up really quick. So what we're going to do is turn on the Glowforge is essentially what this is showing. And then we're going to connect to Glowforge Wi-Fi. And then we're going to click continue here. So let's go ahead and click continue. It says waiting for you to connect to Glowforge Wi-Fi. So what we're going to do is go down to your Wi-Fi section over here. And look, right there is a Glowforge. It wants you to set it right up for you. So go ahead and click connect there. And it shows connecting. You just got to wait for it to connect. Now while we're waiting for it to connect, you see how my Wi-Fi right here is listed as Command Center and Command Center - 5G. From what I'm told, Glowforge has to have a 2G network, like a 2 gigahertz network. So that's going to be this top one here. From what I was told, it doesn't run on the 5 gigahertz network. So if you don't have one of those and you strictly have the 5G network, get yourself a new router, or else you're going to be stuck on this this spot for a long time and it's not going to work. So you're going to have to get yourself a new router that has both dual band networks here. So now that we're connected to the Glowforge now. You see how it says disconnected, It says, huzzah, your computer is connected to your Glowforge. So what we need to do is select a Wi-Fi network on the list from the right. Nothing's showing there. I'm going to click refresh, and right there is my network. So I'm going to go ahead and type in my network password here, and luckily it blanks it all out here for me, so I don't have to actually put a little blacklist here. And I think I know my password, but I'm going to try and connect here and see if this works for us. If it's not this, then I know the other version. We all have so many passwords. Let's see here. There we go. So when I connected there, it says it's no longer reachable. Let's see if it actually connected or not. Let's go ahead and click restart setup because it says not connected, which it is connected, so I must have had the wrong password. So this is a good example here. Since I didn't connect, I'm going to go ahead and try and connect again with the password I think it is now that I tried that. And we'll see if it works this time with this password. So that's a good example of what could go wrong. If you have the wrong password, that could happen. We'll see what it does this time. Nope, still same thing. So let's see. Yeah. So let's go ahead and try it one more time here. Still connected there. We'll try it one more time. And we'll see what it does this time for us. There we go. So, another good example. I had my password wrong 2 times in a row. I used various different passwords on various different accounts. And this is a completely different password than I use on any of my accounts for my Wi-Fi. So, it took me a few shots. So now it's getting connected. You can hear it starting up over here. We're going to go ahead and bring the camera back over on the Glowforge. There we go. And there we go. So now that it's done, on the computer side, I'll just wait for the Glowforge to home over here so you can see it home. That's going to go dead center to try and home over there and set up the Glowforge and calibrate. But I'll just give that a second to try and finish, just so you guys can see that process, and then we'll continue on the computer side over here. Sometimes this calibration can take a little while, so don't freak out about that. And there it goes. It's starting to go back over to the left, and then it should go back to the very starting point here once it goes back to the home position. And it usually does this little calibration section here where it bounces back and forth. There it goes. There's the second one. And there it goes back to the home position. So essentially this is where it would be ready to print with the laser. But now we're going to go back to the computer here, now that we waited that out. And it wants me to name my Glowforge. My last one I named Friday, based off of the artificial intelligence in Tony Stark's armor that got replaced by Jarvis. And also, it was every day is Friday when he Glowforge. This one, we're just going to go ahead and name Fresh Start Customs, because I can't think of a name off the top of my head. If you do need to reprint this or rename this, from what I was told, you have to actually contact Glowforge and have them submit an approval for you to change the name of your Glowforge there. That's why I'm just going with the name of my channel here, because I really don't care if it stays as that. So let's go ahead and take a look here. This is where you can add multiple users. You can add different people with separate email addresses. I'm just going to leave that blank if I'm able to. We're going to hit Save Changes there. there we go. So it's time to make some magic is what it says. This is where you can find your tutorials to actually print your first prints, where you click see the tutorials, and then you can go through the steps here on how to print. I personally am not going to go through this just because I don't know what I'm going to do on this yet, because I wanted to keep it food safe to show you guys in future videos. The guys that actually got a Glowforge mainly for food. That way you can see a variety of different things on my channel here. If you guys know what you want to see, name a type of food, we can check it out, see if it is laser engravable, and we'll go from there. That'd be kind of cool to set up like a different food video every once in a while of when it laser engraves, and then eventually this machine will go to using wood and acrylics again. Just wanted to make it 100% laser safe for food usage until we get that to that point where I'm tired of doing the food videos and you guys get the point of it, and then I can start using this for the normal stuff like I use my other laser for. So this though is basically a quick rundown of how you would do your first prints. It's pretty self-explanatory. Goes through all of the different ones and how to start your prints. There you can kind of read through. So like number 1 is the gift of good measure. This is what most people print all the time when they first get their Glowforge for their very first print. Back when I got the first Glowforge, we had the little founder roller, since we were one of the first people who ended up getting one. That was the first print for most of us, but it's essentially the same thing as the gift of good measure. So yeah, it just shows you the process here, just like I showed you on a different video. You go to the app.glowforge.com. If you need help on how to print an actual item, check that video out. No use in going back through it twice here, so definitely check out that video. I think I labeled it as starting with your Glowforge, or first steps to starting with using your Glowforge. Check that out. And yeah, I hope I helped you guys out. Let me know if I did help you out, and if you guys enjoyed this type of video. Let me know if the lighting was too dark or if it turned out alright for you guys after all. I'd like to know. So I greatly appreciate it, guys. You guys helped me out, and I hope I helped you out. And it was a pleasure talking with you guys. So we'll talk to you later.